50 years ago this week, millions of Americans sat glued to their televisions as the first humans prepared to step foot on the moon. The defining moment was filled with both excitement and tension.
Our 10 News reporter Amanda Brandeis sat down here in San Diego with the man behind the voice of Mission Control as he was honored this week.
In 1969, half a century ago, our nation achieved not only one of its most ambitious projects, but one of the most unifying moments for the country.
At 15 seconds, guidance is internal.
The world watched and held its breath.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
As mankind attempted to step into another world.
Shadow.
Fulfilling a goal set by President John F. Kennedy less than a decade before.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
And I said, man, I mean, can't possibly do that.
Little did Charlie Duke know he would have a front row seat to the historic mission, becoming an astronaut in 1966.
Since the earliest time, man has imagined this moment. The moment when his fellow man would make the first journey to the moon.
The world would soon come to know Duke's voice. Serving as Capcom, he communicated directly with the Apollo 11 astronauts. Initially, he says the mission was running smoothly.
Almost immediately, we started having these series of problems.
Communications were spotty, and the landing computer was signaling an overload.
But the tension with all of these problems building up began to mount in Mission Control. And so the closer we got to the ground, the more tense it became.
The crew was off target, forced to fly manually to find a safe spot to land, with only minutes left of fuel.
So you hung on every foot of altitude and every second at the end there. But we made it with a few seconds to go.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Later on, when I watched Walter Cronkite just slumped over the desk, a sigh of relief that we made it.
It's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
Unifying words that would soon echo around the world.
For a while, that really united, I think, our country, and we could point to something with pride, job well done.
Duke was honored at the San Diego Air and Space Museum for his role in Apollo 11, as well as his own moon landing 3 years later.
The beauty of it and the wonder and the excitement and the adventure, all of those emotions and feelings rolled into one.
Some way, when those two Americans stepped on the moon, the people of this world were brought closer together.
It's a moment Duke still relives 50 years later, one he hopes the world will see again.
Apollo 11.
Really, almost nothing's impossible.
Amanda Brandeis, 10 News.
Best stories I've seen all day. Love that Charlie Duke. Our Apollo 11 50th anniversary coverage continues tomorrow morning. And if you would like to celebrate the historic moon landing, a family-friendly celebration kicks off at 6 Saturday night at the San Diego Air and Space Museum. They will also be airing a special documentary later at 8:30.